Hi everyone, Tom Slivick, and welcome to TSPN TV's News in Depth. I'm with District Attorney here in Amador County, Todd Riebe. Most people know him. How you doing, Mr. Riebe?
Tom?
I'm really glad you came by again,
Thank you.
and we're going to be talking once again about AB 109. Are we on like Plan 2, second year or something? Or
Well, yeah, we're entering our second year of realignment. We've completed our first year.
Okay. Is some of the reason, you know, the new compromise bill and the governor and the Democrat majority at odds because it's in the second year, or is this because of something that just happened like from the courts?
It's the courts. We haven't met the threshold that the court said that the population had to be reduced by. There were benchmarks that had to be achieved in prison population reduction by certain dates. The state didn't meet that. And so now we're in a situation where we are 7,700 inmates that need to go to be reduced in the prison population to meet the 137.5% that the court has said you must reach.
Did we have that number ahead of time? Was this a surprise that we
No,
didn't
we've
meet
known
the number?
all along that the court said you need to reduce the prison population to 137.5% of design capacity. And we knew that there was a corresponding number of people that had to leave in some manner, either early release, either we're not putting them in there at the rate that we had, but we had to reduce that population by some means.
So,
AB 109 was the way to do that.
Okay, so let me see. If I'm right, the first year, the way things worked out, we didn't put any new, not necessarily new people, but we got the number down by taking some of the people that were
Going to
maybe
state
on
prison,
their way,
putting them local,
and putting them local because they weren't as violent or as this. So
Right.
that's how we relieved the first 10,000.
But it didn't do it all. It didn't do it all. And to date, we're still 7,700 short of meeting the three-judge panel's goal. And so what you've seen going on in the news right now is the governor had a plan that was endorsed by law enforcement statewide, victims' rights groups, and that was, you know, this 7,700 that we have to meet the goal, you may think that they're low risk, but that doesn't mean they're no risk. We find that if we were to release them, it would be a jeopardy to public safety, so we are going to incarcerate them out of state, and by they opened up the new medical facility in Stockton by expanding the capacity through additional funding for the fire camps to 3,800, and by opening up or contracting with 2 private prison facilities and then staffing them with state employees. So that was the governor's plan. We're not releasing anybody early, but we will get down to your number. But we're going to have to do it in that way.
Before we get to the number in the new plan and taking, I guess, the next amount of numbers of prisoners, if you would, it seemed like the SAC-B's reported saying, like from Los Angeles, they say the releases are benefiting even inmates sentenced to jail for violent and sex crimes.
Yes.
And that's already, this is like in the first part. This is before we got to the new thing. So the governor sounded to me, you know, like his plan was to probably not put people back out or try to reduce the numbers, but get housing for them in other states. Is that what the governor's plan was?
That's part of the problem.
Clue us in on some of that.
Up to 5,000 would be shipped out of state. We would contract with other states.
What are the numbers that we need to address the problem area? It's over 5,000, or
it's a total of 7,700 inmates that we have to reduce, further reduce the state prison population by.
7,700.
Yes. 7,700.
Okay.
We reach that, then we will get to what the court had, the three-judge panel had ordered California to have their prison capacity at. Governor Brown's policy is, I'm not releasing anybody early. We're going to do it by these means that I just described previously. Now Steinberg didn't like that too much, so he had an alternative plan, and there was a lot of tension in the state capitol, and the compromise was just recently arrived at this week.
Can I stop you for 1 second? Okay, so we have that number, 7,700. The amount of people that are, say this is satisfied, we're at zeros on both sides. Is the amount of that come out of prison yearly or on a given month about equal to the same amount of people that are moving into that from the
prison's
legal
transitioning.
Process? Do you follow what I'm saying? Do we have more people than we have
less
room
going in.
if we're at zero now?
You have less people going in, and then you do have a release. I can't give you the release rate
Okay.
right now, but I know that it's probably gone up, but it's gone up not because of any stated policy or law. It's regulation. More lifers are being released than ever before. People who received a life sentence, they're getting out at a greater rate than ever before. We are medical parole. We're releasing more inmates than we have before. There's talk about having credit changes, though that I think was addressed in the legislative plan. There was talk about giving them enhanced credit so they get out earlier. There's talk about if you're 60 or older, evaluate your situation. You have a life sentence. Evaluate your situation as to whether or not you should be released in an early release.
Okay.
Now, all that was swirling around. The legislative plan addressed a lot of those issues, and it also governor's desire that we're not going to release anybody early to comply with the three-judge panel's edict because we don't believe it's safe to do so. Okay. So this was a compromise plan that was developed.
Okay, we're going to get to the compromise plan right after this break, so please stay with us here on TSPN's News in Depth.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.